It's been more than 6 years since Soulcalibur 5 launched on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. After a somewhat mixed performance commercially and critically, the future looked quite dreary for the series. But at the Game Awards 2017, Bandai Namco, after producer Motohiro Ukubo's consistent efforts to get the series back into action as per an interview with DualShockers, finally announced a new entry after almost 6 years. Soulcalibur 6 was recently released, and much to our surprise, the game has totally managed to exceed our expectations as far as gameplay goes. However, it remains to be seen whether the critical success will translate into commercial success and whether the game will be able to live up to the excellent Tekken 7 and fans' massive expectations. Regardless of the success the game will possibly achieve, Soulcalibur 6 from a technical standpoint is a rather interesting case to analyze.
Victory goes to the last one standing. Battle 2. Fight! Take it!
Last year's Tekken 7 was one of the best looking fighters around thanks to a full physical-based rendering pipeline and fantastic lighting dynamics. It marked a shift for the franchise not only in terms of gameplay, but also visually and the technology implemented. However, Soulcalibur 6 is a bit of a different story. It uses the same engine as Tekken 7, which is Unreal Engine 4, but it doesn't really push the envelope like Tekken 7 did. Characters and environments in Tekken 7 used high-poly models, advanced skin shaders, fantastic particle effects, and adherence to physical-based lighting. These parameters are pretty much downgraded in Soulcalibur 6. Furthermore, Soulcalibur 6 uses depth of field in abundance, and although its implementation is buggy in some places, we found it to just be a cover for some of the shoddy textures the game is trying to hide. Particle effects, too, are not as impressive as the ones we saw in Tekken 7, but they get the job done, we suppose.
Stay down!
Stand. Fight to your last breath.
Stay down!
Battle 2.
We also have a bit to add about the material shaders and anti-aliasing solution used in Soulcalibur 6. Once again, Soulcalibur 6 disappoints in these two departments. Sometimes the game has jaggies at times over its character models and environments, and the material shaders could be very low poly at times, giving us the impression that the game is stuck in the transition between last and current gen.
Step aside. I've sinned enough already. You impress me. Shall we begin the experiment?
Battle 1. Fight!
Here I go!
Despite having some negatives, Soulcalibur 6 does have some shining positives as well. Its art style is pretty fantastic, and this is expected given the series has always excelled in this department. Animations for the most part are pretty fluid, and the moves have a certain weight to them. However, the highlight of Soulcalibur 6's technical pillar is the game's fantastic image quality. The overall rendered image looks extremely crisp and the colors really pop out. This is a big change compared to the dark look and feel of Soulcalibur 5, so overall Project Soul's Soulcalibur 6 is definitely a huge step up from Soulcalibur 5. But compared to what Bandai Namco Studios achieved with Tekken 7, Soulcalibur 6 is definitely a step down. Now, there could be a number of reasons for this, and we can assume a number of things, but according to our assumption, Bandai Namco wanted to play it safe with Soulcalibur 6 by not investing too much into the graphics side of things. It sort of makes sense in a way given how risky this project was for the publisher.
The winds fan the flames of the warrior's fighting spirits.
Try to resist your inevitable fate.
Yes, it's my reason for living.
Battle 1. Fight! Take this! Going in! A storm coming!
Come on!
What?
Not a chance! Leave! Despair!
I shall accept this test. Give up!
Now, on the console front, we have some interesting differences to point out between the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X versions of Soulcalibur 6. Other than the usual differences in resolution, the Xbox One X has a better anti-aliasing solution in place and slightly better ambient occlusion. We also witnessed better draw distances on the Xbox One X version and some low-resolution textures here and there on the PS4. However, both platforms are largely affected by low poly count textures in the environment, so this advantage for the Xbox One X isn't really an advantage. On the frame rate front, both versions performed admirably well, with frame rate drops only happening during finalization of characters and stage selection. So Soulcalibur 6 plays best on the Xbox One X, and that's not really a huge surprise.
Time for some sparring.
Fine. I'll put on a good show for you.
Battle 1. Fight!
Forgive me! Take this!
Overall, Soulcalibur 6 from a purely graphical perspective is a step down for Bandai Namco. I hope that whenever the next entry happens, the developers will push the visual envelope ahead instead of not taking risks. Having said that though, Soulcalibur 6 is this generation's finest fighting game with excellent gameplay, and gameplay always wins over graphics, right?
This ends now!
And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from Gaming Bolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.